Hi, welcome to 2020 Tasty Treats with GourmetQuilter. We're doing 20 different programs, and this time we're doing some tree appliques. As you can see behind me here, there is a forest behind me which is almost full. We have already done 17 of our trees, there's 20 altogether. So today we're going to be having a look at tree number 18. There's a diagram over here with all the 20 trees that we are doing. There's information on the website on GourmetQuilter.com. If you've already registered to receive the pattern, then you'll have a pattern like this for tree number 18. There's a diagram of the finished block up here, and all the shapes are there ready for you to trace onto your paperback fusible web to put on the back of your fabric so that you can cut everything out with some really nice sharp scissors. And I can recommend some. There are some Karen K. Buckley, they're called the Perfect Scissor, and pretty much they're pretty perfect. They're very good for cutting out fine applique. So I've got the fusible web already on the back. I've already done all mine. I've cut them all out. I've got my background piece already cut. And so my shapes are all here. So this time we've got a little, just a little green tree with some leaves, but there's a little creature living in it. We have a little bird living in this tree, so that'll be interesting. So I'm going to start positioning the pieces onto my background here. I've got the tree trunk, which is just a fairly squat little tree, this one. And to sit quite nicely on there. And then this piece goes on next. The pieces are numbered on the pattern so that you can see that some will underlap others, so they go on first. Just keep an eye that the sides are fairly even for distance and things. And then scattered over this tree we've got a few little leaves, and we have this little blue bird. So we might pop the little bird on. He's just sitting up here in the tree. Quite happy he is in there. He has a separate little wing. So we'll pop that on as well. And then there's these leaves just scattered on the tree. Not in any particular order or even any particular direction. Just to create a little bit of interest. So there we've got all our pieces in place. Because I'm using steamer seam, it's a little bit sticky, so it just sits there quite nicely until I iron it, which I'm about to do because I'm happy with all that. So the other thing now though with this one, because we've got this little bird, so on the pattern you can see that the little bird's got some little feet, a little beak and an eye. We may want to make some markings so that you know where to stitch, because I will stitch those as I'm going to be doing free motion applique stitching. So I'm just going to mark a little beak there, so just two little lines, and the legs are really simple, again just little lines. Now you could mark these with a permanent marking pen if you wanted to, and the eye, or you could stitch them, you could embroider them, or you can do what I'm going to do, which is machine stitch them. So before I go to the sewing machine, I'm just going to pop a piece of light white cotton batting behind. It works as a stabilizer, which helps a lot when you do the free motion stitching. So now I'm going to go to the machine and I'm going to stitch this little bird first, because I always like to do the fiddly bits first if I possibly can. So I'm going to start down here near his legs, because then we can stitch the legs when we get back there. And I'm just coming up around, so I'm just stitching on the bird but close to the edge. And when I've got to the beak here, I'm going to just do my little stitching for the beak, and I'm just going to go over it a couple of times so that it stands out. And I'm going to come around the rest of the bird. Now I'm very close here to the little wing, so I'm actually just going to skip onto that and do that here as well. So close it won't show at all. So I'm just going to join up my stitching, then I'm going to just back up and I'm going to do the little legs. So like I did on the beak, I'm going to go over them more than once so that it just makes it a little bit more definite. and come along and do this one as well. And then I can just finish that off there. But now we've got the little eye to do. So the eye is quite tiny. You could just use a permanent marking pen, but I'm actually just going to machine stitch it. So it's really just a little tiny bit of stitching, just to create a little eye there. It doesn't take so long to do, and it's all done. But you might have a preferred way. You could do a little French knot if you wanted to. So now with all these little leaves will need to be done separately, unless you did some sort of decorative joining stitching. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the leaves, and then I'll come back and do the tree and the stem. So I'll just go ahead and do all these. So I've done all the little leaves and the bird. So now I've just got the tree trunk and the tree to do. So this is kind of fun. Nice little tree, this one with a bird living in it. And we're nearly back at the beginning already. Just across that trunk there to where I started on the tree, and it's all done. So that's quite a cute little tree. Let's give it a quick press. And there's my little bird in a tree. Very happy he is to be living in this forest. He's just living under this orange tree down here, and he's actually extremely pleased about that because he might enjoy those oranges. So that was it for tree number 18. We've still got 2 more to go, so we'll see you again next time. Thank you. There's more information if you're looking for it on GourmetQuilter.com. Otherwise, I will see you again for tree number 19. Thank you.